What's up, guys? This is Brave, and I'm back to review Ready to Love. This is part 2 of the reunion, and let's just jump right in. So, as you already know, Tasia done ran off the stage, talking about this is ghetto. I ain't got time for this. Her mom is sick in the hospital. She is over these people arguing back and forth over if freaking Camille said anything or if she didn't. Honestly, if I was the castmates up there, I would have been so over this reunion. First off, why have we been talking about Camille and Cornelius for so many segments? Like, for real, we have talked to them way too much. There were people that we did not even talk to. Like, come on now. What kind of reunion is that? But let's go ahead and move on from there. So after Tanika is going on and on about how, this is Aisha's truth and Camille has her truth, blase blah, Zadia, she wants to chime in and talk about her connection with Naim. And I'm just like, girl, if they get to you, they get to you. Like, let's move on. I don't really want to talk about any of y'all at this point. So we get to Sabrina and Walter. And as we all know, Sabrina left Walter standing there looking stupid because she turned him down. Now, according to Sabrina, Walter wants somebody younger, okay? He dates younger women, clearly. And he's like, no, that's not how I feel. It's just I typically date younger women because I still want a child. Keep in mind, Walter is supposed to be 46, 48 years old? And I'm just like, well, how young are you dating them? Because women in their late 30s, they can have children. Like, are you trying to date some, young 23-year-old? Or are you dating women that's 35, 36? Because I feel like there's a difference. Because are you trying to be a sugar daddy? Or what? I'm just throwing this out here because I just see Walter as the old man in the club. Now, one thing that's interesting to me is the fact that even though Walter mentioned that, he wants children, I'm just like, well, why did you even waste your time with Sabrina? Because Sabrina was standing on the fact that, she was done. She has her daughter. She's good. And even though he kind of mentioned that Sabrina said she will possibly have, another child, baby, she is 46 years old. She is 2 seconds away from having hot flashes. Why are we acting like she's still young? I get it. Some women are still trying to have kids at 50. But listen, once a woman figures out that she don't want kids no more, she's standing on that. Honestly, I do not see if Walter and Sabrina were still, trying to make things work, if they were a couple, I do not see Sabrina getting pregnant. I do not. At the not old age, I do not want to say that, but at the age of 46 or 45, however old Sabrina is, let's stop playing. Let's stop playing, okay? Let's be honest. Walter and Sabrina wasted each other's time because they were not a match. Yes, they may have looked good together on each other's arm. They used to match all the time, but they were not good for each other. Considering he wanted kids, she does not. Also, the fact that Sabrina has brought up the fact that Walter, he goes MIA. I'm sorry, there is no way I would still be sitting up here saying that I'm dating Walter if I have met his family and I didn't hear from him again until a week later. Because that's what it sounds like. It sounds like Walter will show up to the date for filming, and then once that date was over, he goes MIA. And I'm just like, Sabrina, so how long ago did you notice that he, isn't responsive or he's not really communicating with you? Because I kind of feel like you just wanted to make it to the end as well. Because I feel like this is something that you noticed a long time ago, but you were just going to be like, all right, we're going to see where this goes. We're going to see how this plays out. When honestly, you could have probably nipped this in the bud a long time ago. But you know what? Whatever. According to Walter, he wished they could have still kind of remained friends. But it seems like they had a good place. Like they were sitting next to each other. And I think that they will probably continue to be friends, but definitely not dating. Let's move on. All right, y'all, let's move on to Courtney. I feel like we already talked to Courtney. So why are we talking to her again? And here's why. Because we're still talking about who? Cornelius. I'm over it. God damn it. Like, I feel like we cannot shake Camille and Cornelius. Like, seriously. But anyways, as we all know, Courtney had a connection with Cornelius as well as Corey. Now, if we all recall, Corey literally left little love notes for Courtney. Like, okay, I will say this. Well, I'm going to say what I'm going to say. When it comes to Courtney and Corey, he was trying to make her feel special. Now, the problem was, Corey, he decided that he was going to go ahead and invite everybody to meet his mama and all that stuff. So remember, they gave him the boot. So who else was Courtney interested in? Cornelius. However, Cornelius is over here talking he's saved and sanctified. And she's like, I'm trying to throw this ass in a circle. Like, she literally said that, she's not waiting. She's not waiting on marriage to have sex with anybody. Therefore, unfortunately, Courtney, you got sent home. I thought that Courtney was going to last a lot longer, but it didn't seem like any of the guys were really interested in her. Like, the way that I thought that they would be interested in her. Like, there wasn't a connection between, like, her and Frank or her and Dante or her and Naeem. Like, anybody. So, unfortunately, Courtney went home a lot earlier than I even expected. But at the end of the day, like, I honestly don't feel like her guy was there. Now, let's go ahead and move on to Corey, y'all. Because, I'm sorry, I keep picturing this man fake crying. I just cannot. But anyways, we get to Corey in his segment. Now, this is what I will say. I will give Corey the benefit of the doubt, y'all. Now, at first, was he trying to get with every woman? Yes, he was. But once he singled in on Courtney and Mumin, he wasn't paying attention to nobody else, or so we thought. But I feel like Corey was the only man who actually put effort into making these women feel special. I understand that he may have, left love notes and Mumin saw it and all of that. But at the end of the day, he's the only man who consistently brought flowers for these women. He's the only man who tried to do something that's simple that would, really make them remember, oh, Corey thought about me. He was very thoughtful. I will say that. Now, when he got on this stage crying about how he doesn't know why he does these things that he does, because he wants whoever the woman is in his life to feel how his mom feels when her dad when his dad does nice things for her. I said, Corey, I'm not finding the correlation here. Like, you literally could have saved those tears and just been like, listen, I like to make my woman feel special. I like to do little things for her that, she'll appreciate. Period. We could have just said that and we would have been done. Now, one thing that I will say is that, yes, Corey was wrong for inviting every woman to meet his parents, right? But if we're playing by the story timeline, I feel like, Mumin, you jumped the gun when you sent Corey home. And here's why. I don't think Corey would have done her how Frank did her. Just saying. I don't think that if she would have kept Corey around, that he would have done her the way Frank did, to where Frank completely ghosted her after the show. I think that Corey would have actually tried to make things work. That's all I'm going to say on that. Now, for some reason, we asked Courtney, does, him explaining why he does all these things, does that change her perspective of him? She said no. According to her, she feels like he was just running game, and that's just who he is. Now, I will say this. When it came down to him saying, oh, I want you to meet my parents, my question was, which is something that Tanika should have asked, Corey, what was your timeline? Were you saying that, because there is a portion of the show where the ladies have to meet your family, were you saying that you are interested in these women out of the rest of them? When it comes to, who should meet your family, like, she should have asked him to expound on that, but she didn't. Now, let's hop on over to Sia. Now, y'all, I feel like these men are full of shit. I'm sorry. I'm jumping the gun. But we are not about to sit up here and act like these men was really checking for Sia like that. They were not. So for them to, get into it a little bit in her segment, I know I'm kind of all over the place, but when Corey was talking about how, he had a connection with her, I was like, well, the cameras never caught that. The cameras never showed Corey doing anything with Sia besides the day that she was telling him that he was safe and that he wasn't going home. Now, when it comes down to these other guys talking about we all said that, Sia is a great girl. We all said that, Sia cool. Yeah, Sia was cool, but y'all friend zoned her. Sia was cool, but y'all put her in the homegirl category. Why are we sitting up here playing Walter? Why are we sitting up here playing Frank? Because if we really want to be technical, I thought, me personally, that Sia and Frank looked better together. But that's not what he went after, which is totally fine. But I just think it's real fake for all these men to sit up here and act like they was really, buzzing to see a phone like that. But we all know that wasn't true. But anyways, when we first started into Sia's segment, because I totally talked about the end of it, we talk about how, what she wanted Phil to do. And she was like, if he wanted to apply more pressure, then he would have. And I was like, yeah, that's true. Now, when we talk about how Corey is just smiling this whole time Sia is talking or whatever, and basically this is when she decided to bust him out to be like, oh yeah, Corey was talking to me too. He was telling me to meet his mama and all this stuff. And I'm just like, this would have been more exciting if this would have been shown during the season. I'm just saying, I understand what she's trying to do and have a moment, but it's not really given because nobody cares at the reunion. There's plenty of people who was somebody's number 3 and number 4 and number 5 or whatever, and we don't get to see that. Let's be honest. A lot of the relationships, we don't even see who's talking to who, especially on this season. But let's go ahead and move on. That was Sia's segment. Nothing really special because I don't care about her and Corey possibly having a fling together. That's lame. Next. All right, y'all. So we finally get to Zadia's little segment or whatever. And, of course, we talk about the connections that she had on the show. And the hot topic that we really want to get to is what happened as to why she was spiraling out of control, pointing her damn finger in Dante's face. Now, I feel like she didn't really go too far into it, and Dante didn't either because they have already had a conversation about it, and it was clear that neither one of them really wanted to bring that back up. At least to me, it didn't seem like Dante wanted to talk about it. It also didn't really seem like Zadia wanted to talk about it. Of course not. Now, I'm surprised, y'all. I am surprised Aisha did not chime in because, baby, this is the time when you should have said something, Aisha. Instead of you worrying about Camille and Cornelius' whack ass, this was the time for you to chime in and say, hey, but here's the thing, Zadia. You sat up here and you said that I was dense. You said that, remember Zadia was saying all those, negative things about Aisha as if Aisha was just some, ghetto hood rat who had no education or something. Do y'all remember that when she was, storming off or whatever? Zadia, you should have had to, address that situation. Seriously. Tanika, why didn't you ask that question? Because I am so surprised that Aisha did not say, hey, but you was talking all that shit. I'm going to need for you to either say that to my face and stand on it, or you owe me an apology for talking bad about me for no apparent reason. Because let's be honest, regardless of Dante choosing Aisha, hell, he could have chose a doorknob. It did not matter who he chose. The way that Zadia went off about Aisha did not deserve that. Girl, you can't be mad because he chose another woman. You don't have to discredit that woman. But no, Aisha sat there and she didn't say nothing, y'all. I was kind of mad at that. So we finally get to Aisha and Dante's segment. I'm like, dang, we've been waiting for a long time. So, of course, they are still together. They are taking their time. But you can clearly see that they are making each other very happy, which I am happy about. Because let's be honest, when it comes to Ready to Love, this is the most couples that we've ended up with. Regardless of them being, half of them off the show, they became a couple or whatever, or they had already chose their people. This is the most couples that we have seen. And I do like Aisha and Dante together. I wonder if their children have met yet. Those are the questions that we should have been asking Tanika. So you was asking the wrong things. Now, what really annoyed me about this segment, though, you guys, was not Aisha and Dante at all. They were talking about how they've been through highs and lows, and they are still working it out. But we gave, again, Camille and Cornelius so much camera time, as well as Zadia and Naim. We get it. They don't like each other. But y'all could really focus the camera back on Aisha and Dante. You really could have. Even though I hated Aisha's makeup, as well as her whole look, honestly. I hated the hair. I love Aisha with dark hair. And that makeup, I just couldn't get with it. That dress was not that girl. I just wasn't feeling it. Let's move on. So Tanika is basically asking if anybody want to shoot their shot. And oh boy with PTSD, I cannot think of his name right now. He tried to shoot his shot at her. That went nowhere. And that was pretty much the episode, you guys. Let me know what y'all thought about this reunion. And let me know if you are ready to see what Potomac has to offer. Go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. And I will talk to you in the next one. Bye, guys.